Okay, guys, so sorry about not uploading the video from yesterday. It was a holiday and, barbecue, family. Hopefully, you guys had fun yesterday for Labor Day and everything. If you live in the NYC tri-state area, you probably went to the parade and everything. So there's that, and on top of that, we are now at chapter 70 of Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Now, most of you probably who just started the series are like, when is that moment coming? It's coming. Probably within the next, I would say, 5 to 8 chapters or something like that. I can't say specifically wise. Again, like I said, I'm restarting from the beginning, and like the beginning, daily life in Kyoko, I'm rereading for the first time in a pretty long time. So I can't say exactly, but I can say this arc is truly the start for more so our main character, Tsunayoshi Sawada, because this arc basically made Tsuna who we know as of today, even after the ending, after the 409 chapters. It was the start. It was that spark, man. And I can't wait to get to those chapters and just like relive the hype, relive what I've experienced 10 years ago all over again. Okay, so starting off with this chapter 70, after chapter 69, they managed to stop Birds, one of the creepiest characters in this series. Gladly that he's never brought back after this arc, because this dude was just weird. Of course, remember, he uses his birds as surveillance cameras to spy on his victims, and then he has zombie-like twins. Come to find out, their names are Zizi and Gigi, and he uses them as basically his henchmen to carry out the assassination. So basically, he is the boss of them, who is basically just giving orders. That's it. That's all. That's his entire role. He doesn't go around killing. And when it looks like that his plans are not going through, he's the first one to up and dip. Okay, and that's exactly what happened by the end of 69, now going into chapter 70, because we have where Dr. Shamal, Lambo, 10-year virgin Lambo, and Ipin came onto the scene to protect Kyoko and Haru. And so, of course, both of them, Haru was going home from and studying while she's going home. And then we have Kyoko and her best friend, who I can't remember her name at the time. They just finished visiting Ryohei in the hospital. So when we had Dr. Shamal come in, and Dr. Shamal is known for being a mafia underground doctor who specializes in 666 different diseases, all also in his body. And he also has the antidotes, as well as the side effects for those antidotes, to combat 666 degrees. So I know everybody is just like, Dr. Shamal, he's weird. He's also creepy, just like Birds, because this man will even try to flirt with 14-year-olds. Like, this dude, I guess that's why after the Varia arc, you don't really see him much anymore. He just makes like brief appearances and all that, but I get it. But I cannot deny that like this was the coolest moment, and the only coolest moment of Dr. Shamal throughout the entire series. Okay, he's telling one of the scarecrow looking twins that, like, I couldn't go traumatizing these fair maidens, and I gave you this type of disease that's basically, what was it called again? Hand-arm vibration syndrome. So I'm guessing the way it is, and they didn't give too much description, but basically the more you move, the more fast acting this disease that he hits you with is activated. And because one of the twins was moving a lot, trying to kill him as well as the girls, it spread faster through his body, and it caused blood to just come out at various points of, you see, like, this dude, he's like, by the time you keep doing that, yeah, you're already dead. And all you see is Shamal looking mad cool. You can see from the picture, he's looking mad cool. It's like, hey, by the time this happens, you're already dead. And the twin, one of the zombie looking, scarecrow looking twins, is basically dead. It killed him. Okay, And then we have where the second one is Haru is being protected by Lambo and Ipin, right? And mind you, everybody's seeing, those who are at Kyoko Helpland is seeing what's going on due to, again, bird surveillance, using his birds to surveillance the whole thing that's happening. So, you know, Tsuna's wowed by, like, as much as he thinks Shamal is creepy and all that, you know, being a whole creep towards women in general, he's like, so this dude is actually dangerous. You know, he wasn't all this talk and all of that stuff. He's extremely dangerous. I mean, think about it. This is a man that survived 666 different diseases, and he has them in his body, and he's found 666 solutions to these diseases. This man is a walking conundrum, okay? He has the viruses, but he also has the treatment, the solution to these viruses. I would never mess with someone like that. This man can kill me with a mosquito. With a mosquito. And like, if it wasn't for like how he talks to women, how he treats women, I would have actually liked Dr. Shamal to show more in this series. I actually would. Because the way this dude goes about targeting his enemies and how he can finish them off, he could have been utilized more, you know. But, and so like I said, with Lambo and Ipin, all Lambo did was take Haru out of the scene, and it was Ipin versus one of the Scarecrow twins, and she basically put him in some leg lock neck twisting position and snapped his neck. And I'm like, oh, I forgot she is the student of one of these characters. I can't reveal who her master is, who her teacher is. You eventually find out, and he's the same one that taught Ipin all of these assassination moves. Okay, martial art assassination moves, and hence why she can subdue and kill her opponent by will. And mind you, this is at the time, remember, Ipin is still very dangerous because earlier chapters when she was introduced, she used the smell of garlic to try to immobilize her opponent at 5 years old. And she nearly killed Tsuna very early on in the series, okay? And that's at 5 years old. 5 years old, so you can say, like, her 10-year version is even a bigger upgrade. Can you imagine when she hits her 20s or 30s, where she will be in her prime, if she continues with this profession and still learning martial arts at the same time, okay? So that happened. They defeated the Scarecrow twins. They defeated Birds, because all it took to take him out, really, because this dude is not a fighter, okay? He's the one who just gives commands and stay behind the scenes, and you know, that's it. He's actually a big old coward. All it took was a punch in the face by Tsuna and a hard kick to the stomach by Gokudera, and he's done. He's practically useless by himself. That's why he has the twins doing all of his dirty work, all of his bidding. So, you know, they're taken out. One of the many assassins that's part of the Kyoko gang is taken out. So on top of MM and Ken and Chikusa and now Birds, as long as the twins, Gigi and Zizi, they're all taken out, right? So we have a moment where it's just like, man, we did this, now we can actually approach Mukuro, right? And then we have where Bianchi is like, there's someone there. If you don't come out right now, we're going to get to you. And Futa appears. Remember, he did appear at the ending of chapter 69, and it looked like Tsuna noticed him, right? And they're like, oh my god, thank god you're okay, thank god you're safe, come on, let's go home. Because the whole point of them going there was to retrieve Futa. I don't know if at this point in the story, I don't think so, they realized that Hibari is there too. They're probably still thinking in their minds that Hibari, you know, he handled it and he's off doing knows what. Because remember, at the end of the day, Hibari doesn't hang out with them. They don't know about his life or anything of that sort. So they're probably thinking he handled everything. And so, we have where Futa's like, no, don't worry about me, go home, I don't want to go back home with you guys, leave me alone. And then he runs off. So we have where Tsuna goes right after him, and before the others can follow Tsuna, some big old steel beam is launched before any of them could have got hit and crashes into several trees, breaking them. And they're like, who the hell threw this, right? So as soon as going into the forest trying to find where is Futa, where did he run off to, he bumps into the real Mukuro. Of course, we all know who the real Mukuro is. And then Mukuro, he realizes that Tsuna is the future 10th boss. So he kind of switches up his attitude. Of course, Tsuna is scared because he's like, oh, he's wearing the Kyoko school's uniform. But Mukuro tries to play it where, like, he's the victim. He's one of the kids that got kidnapped or something, and now, like, you know, he's trying to run away and find safety. And this is all to gauge who Tsuna is, trying to, you know, trick him, just see who is he dealing with. Because remember, at the end of the day, everybody, Tsuna's gang, all of them, got false information on who Mukuro is. Because while we go back to the scene where the person who threw the steel beam is a fake Mukuro due to the you know, that what they say, Dino, he was basically searching who these people are, and they gave false information on who everybody else, everyone else, Ken, Chikusa, the Scarecrow twins, Birds. They're who they say they are, but the person who's supposed to be Mukuro, they gave false information. So kind of they're kind of mistaken, because who they're dealing with, while he is strong, Mukuro, the real Mukuro, is far more dangerous, okay? Because he's trying to hide his presence so that when he does launch the attack, none of them are none the wiser, because they're thinking who they're dealing with was the real person. Comes to find out he is actually a fake, okay? So while the real Mukuro is kind of interrogating Tsuna, and he's starting to reveal his sinister self, like, no, you have to come with me, no, I want to know where you're going, and all that stuff. And Tsuna's starting to get spooked out, like, this kid is not really who they're trying to say they are. And he's like, no, I gotta go find my friends, and you know what, let me go get my friends so I can get you. And then he runs off in the next direction. And then we have where Mukuro is telling Ken was also, he was hiding, watching the entire scene between him and Tsuna. And Mukuro's like, you know, I thought he was different, but because the 9th generation of Vongolo, who's still in charge of the Vongolo until Tsuna succeeds and inherits his title, he was questioning, like, you know, the 9th generation head was known to be such a fearsome person, and that the people he chooses are all of equal status or probably greater, and to find that he picked someone who's so weak. And those who know Mukuro, when he was first introduced, he has great plans. That's why he was targeting Tsuna, because he has great plans for Tsuna, and they're not really good plans. He's planning to use Tsuna for something pretty bad, pretty horrible. It will be revealed in future chapters, but that's why he was going throughout the whole plan, doing the whole countdown, people losing their teeth, people going into the hospital, is to target Tsuna, because he's going to use Tsuna. So that's why when he came into the forest, it was more so to gauge of what type of person is he dealing with. Because if Tsuna was deemed to him as a big threat or anything, he may have to take greater measures. But because of how Tsuna presented himself, he's thinking, you know, Tsuna's not that big of a problem. I can take this guy out. I can use him for what I need to use him for, you know. So while that's happening, mind you, they're about to fight the fake Mukuro, and Gokudera is starting to feel pain. And remember his fight with Chikusa. Remember, Chikusa did stab him multiple times with multiple needles in the chest, and while yes, he was healed by Dr. Shamal, remember, Dr. Shamal is known for how much diseases, and even though he has the antidote, he has the treatment, there is side effects. So now, right now, Gokudera is dealing with the side effects, which I guess is like a lot of pain. I can't say for sure if the pain he's feeling of being stitched, if the wounds are reopening, but for sure, he is dealing with the side effects. It's now happening while they're about to fight one of the strongest opponents that they have fought since they started this whole mission, okay? This dude has a big old bowling ball, chain bowling ball. He threw a steel beam, so you know he's physically strong, okay? And now he's using this big old chain bowling ball, and then he launches it, right? And it's coming towards Yamamoto, and you think Yamamoto is dodging it, and then he gets drawn in and it hits him. So he's trying to protect himself, and he's getting hit by, I don't know, this 1 ton, 2 ton chain bowling ball, and this dude is damaged by the end of the chapter. And Reborn is seeing everything that's going down, and they're realizing, nah, this is a serious problem, because he's stronger than Shikusa and he's stronger than Ken, okay? And you would have thought they were bad enough. But this guy is a whole different ball game, and this is where Reborn is like, originally he was ordered to step back and let Tsuna handle everything. But he's like, if they're dealing with this type of opponent, it's gonna be a huge problem for them. Okay, and he has his gun out, he's ready. He's like, oh, so is he going to, you know, somebody's gonna die by a bullet? And that's how the chapter ends. So Tsuna met the real Mukuro, which he doesn't know. They're facing the false one, but mind you, he is still strong. But compared to the real one, he, you know. But we have where Futa obviously is still under the control of Mukuro, so he's running away. They're still trying to get him, and it, like, Gokudera might be down for the count after this fight, because he is starting to feel the side effects. And our group is going to be suffering some real challenges and everything. So unfortunately, things are getting a little bit too serious for Tsuna's group. And mind you, at this point in the story, still again, Tsuna he's not able to protect himself as of yet. So we'll see in the coming chapters, and we'll see how they deal with the fake Mukuro. You'll find out what his real name is. If this is your first time reading and or watching Katekyo Hitman Reborn, you'll find out who this false Mukuro really is, and why he is affiliated with Mukuro and the rest. Okay, and actually, I'll throw out a bone for you guys. He's actually not really that of a bad guy, but he got tied into some serious stuff. So guys, you tell me in the comment section below on how you felt about this chapter of Katekyo Hitman Reborn, chapter 70. How do you feel about the beginning of, like, Dr. Shamal? Do you wish you would have saw more of him if it's not for, you know, his fascination with women and stuff, you know, told again, creep and just weird. But do you wish you would have saw more of him in the manga and the anime, and more of 10-year versions of Ipin and Lambo? And how do you feel about this new fight in order to get Futa and Hibari? Like, is this too much already for our group? Is this too much for even Tsuna? All he wanted to do was live a normal teenage life, but unfortunately, nah. Not after this, no. And this is kind of all of Reborn's fault, okay? So the links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye!